my name's Jasmine and today I'm going to be customizing squishies. But all the squishies I'm going to be making are going to be inspired by slimes from my slime collection. And I have a roulette wheel here and I'm going to be letting fate decide which slimes will inspire these custom squishies. I'm excited to show you these slimes and I'm excited to see what I create. So let's just get straight into things. I've been buying slime from specialty shops since the winter of 2020. And so for context, most of my slime collection is from 2021, making most of these slimes like years old at this point. I take very good care of the slime though, so most of it is still in good condition. Skeleton Party by Momo. So that's gonna be this right here. So this first slime is from Momo Slimes and it's Skeleton Party. I ordered mine in October of 2021 and it's a snow fizz. In 2022, Momo made another version of Skeleton Party where the base is instead a pebble texture, but I have the snow fizz version. It has a white snow fizz base. There are female slices of bats, bones, and little skulls wearing bows. There is also a ton of pink circular confetti and 2 bone charms. It has a refreshing grapefruit scent, and my slime is almost 2 years old at this point, and it's still super satisfying to play with. I have chosen this pony squishy for Skeleton Party because she has such an expressive pose and this luxurious hair. She is just ready for a party. And this squishy has a smooth face, which will be important for my idea. As I was prepping, I realized that skeletons don't have ears, and she most certainly has her ears. So I went to cover up that ear with a flower. But I don't know what I was thinking. There was a much better option for a hair accessory. There are literally bows in the slime. So this clearly needed a bow. I cut out parts of the flower and started shaping a bow with the puffy paints. Now that she's got a base coat, she's ready for the paint. So to make this a skeleton party, I'm making the squishy a skeleton horse. And this is why it was important that the squishy have a smooth face. If it was too textured, it would have looked so awkward drawing the skeleton on top. I made this hair a light pink color so that I could use the hot pink on the bow and the pedestal. There's also all that hot pink confetti in the slime, and so I just decided to put that all over the hair. Here is the finished squishy. I really like how this tied into the theme. I think it worked out really well. I love the sass in her pose, especially with that front hoof. This is the squishy with her slime. She is gorgeous, such an icon. I think I was able to tie this theme in great. There's no way I would have made anything like this if it weren't for me being inspired by this slime. I'm in love with how this turned out. Let's get on to the next squishy. No! I was really hoping for this slime. I got Booberry Cheesecake. Oh, you definitely can't read that. This slime right here. I'm actually so genuinely excited about that one. The wheel has chosen another slime from Momo Slimes. This time it's a DIY clay kit. I bought this in October of 2022 and have been playing with it since. And that means it is already mixed. And so to show you what it looked like before being mixed, I'm using footage from Momo Slime's Instagram accounts. This slime has a silky slay base that is a light blue color, a topper of clear slime that is a deep purpley blue color with cubes. There are a ton of spooky add-ins like female bats and ghosts. There is also a blueberry charm. Finally, there's the clay piece, which is a slice of blueberry cheesecake, and these mix together to make a super inflating butter slime. This slime is almost a year old, and it's still super inflating. I love this slime. Also, I wanted to add some context about these containers looking wonky because I was the one that did that. This is not how they came from the shops. I didn't think I'd need to keep them presentable, so I did what made it more convenient for me. I really don't like having to store the extra slime because I've inflated the slime so much that it can't fit in the original container. So if I really like a slime, I'll move it to a larger container or I'll swap out for a domed lid. But I still like the slime labels, so when I move the slimes to different containers, I move the labels and they get wonky. This is not how I got them from the shop. They looked much nicer. I just do this because it's easier for me. I have big plans for this squishy. I have this bear for the base, and it's just super cute, and I think it's gonna work with my idea perfectly. But it needs to be a ghost. So I'm gonna remove the legs and replace them with a wispy ghost tail. I decided to add the tail to the front as if it's sitting still. I really thought this little strawberry would work, but that was a no-go. We can all just agree that was a misstep, so I'm going to take the time to sculpt my own wispy tail. I'm going to start with this small cake roll, and I'm just going to trim it to the shape that I actually want. Having the wispy tail in the front will add some stability so it doesn't fall over, but it will also create a silhouette that looks more like a slice of cheesecake. Now that this tail is sculpted, I expose more foam on the squishy and glue the two pieces together. Having more exposed foam just kind of like lets them adhere better. The exposed foam of the sculpted tail, however, is going to be a pain. So off camera, I built up just a ton of layers of puffy paint so that there wouldn't really be a texture. Now for the fun part. I'm going to be making the tail actually look wispy with a little trail at the end. But this is so small that I didn't want to use foam, so instead I'm going to build it up with puffy paint. To create the right shape, I taped a piece of parchment paper to the bottom of the squishy and then was able to pipe the shape that I wanted onto the parchment paper. It deflated while it was drying, so I had to build it up some more with more coats, but I'm really happy with the shape that this was able to create. That's the last step of the prep, so I got on with my base coats. Now I need a light blue. I want it to match the color of the slime, and I wanted it to be glow in the dark, so it would be more spooky and ghost-like. This was a big commitment though, because using glow in the dark paint means I'm going to have to do a million coats because it's way less opaque than other paints. I also mixed a dark blue color to be like the blueberries in the slime. I think I did a good job matching these to the actual colors in the slime. All those coats later, and I was finally able to move on to the head. I wanted it to be a blueberry on top of the cheesecake, especially since they already have those little leaves on the bear's head. So I mixed this color to match the blueberry topping. While I was watching the footage, I realized that the color dried way darker and I never corrected it. I way prefer this lighter shade. Now, to make this actually look like a cheesecake, I added a little crust to the bottom, and I had that crust kind of wrap up on this side so you could see it a little better. They still need some color on the beans of their paws, and so I used that color to fill in the ears too, onto the little face. It was quite a challenge to make it ghostly, but I gave it these teardrop eyes with an open mouth. I like to imagine that they're singing a little ghost song. To really embrace the head of this bear being a blueberry, I'm gonna try to accentuate the leaves. I'm starting with a dark green color and then using a light green to add some depth to it. Finally, it's ready for my signature. Yes, this squishy does actually glow in the dark. I super adore this squishy. Everything just came together so well. Let's take a moment to appreciate the level of puns going on here. We have a blueberry cheesecake, then to make it ghostly, it became a booberry cheesecake. Then to make it a bear, it became a boo Booberry Cheesecake. Honestly, this is just so cute, and I love how it came out. So, let's see what I get. It's spinning. Okay, so Peppermint White Hot Cocoa by Momo Slimes. So that is this slime right here. So this slime is also from Momo, and it is a DIY clay kit. I bought this slime during the Black Friday sale in 2021, and have also mixed this one up already. So to show you what it looked like before, I'm once again going to be showing footage from the Momo Slimes Instagram account. The base of this slime was a glossy texture. There were a ton of like peppermint sprinkles, and this came with 3 clay pieces, 1 white chocolate bar and 2 marshmallows. Once they mixed together, it became a butter slime that was still semi-glossy, lots of good clicks with this slime, and it has a really sweet peppermint scent. I enjoy this slime. It might seem like I have an unrelated group of squishies here, but these will be combined to be something better. I have this tennis ball that's been cut in half, which is perfect to be a cup of hot cocoa. These two will be in hot cocoa. The bunny will be floating on top, and the turtle he will not be staying a turtle. I'm going to use his head as the head of a critter that's swimming in the hot cocoa. This is going to need a lot of prep. First, I'm smoothing the revealed foam with puffy paint. The foam really just soaks it up, so this took a few coats. Then I stuck the companions in the wet puffy paint. I should have attached them first, but I just didn't want to do all this smoothing around the critters. I was just being lazy. If I did this again, I would have attached them properly, just so it wouldn't be so firm, because the more puffy paint there is, the more firm bits there are. And then I sealed them on. This one is looking like an orb right now. He needs some arms and ears. I just kind of globbed on the puffy paint. The ears did drip, but I kind of love it. It reminds me of when cats airplane their ears. He looks so panicked in the liquid, but there is still more prep to be done. I wanted the cups to have a foot at the bottom, so I just globbed on some puffy paint and used parchment paper to make it sit flat. Once it dried, the parchment paper just peeled right off, and it wasn't quite the shape I wanted, so I just built up the foot with more and more puffy paint. I regret this even more. Yes, it is flexible, but it is way more firm than the foam is. This was yet another stiff part of the squishy. Anyway, when I added the handle, I did use foam. I cut these from a donut squishy. Now I need to create a place to attach the handle firmly. I cut a divot into the cup so that the handles could slide in there, and I sealed it up. And this is actually looking like a cup now. I have been prepping this squishy forever, it feels like, so I am super ready to actually get paint on this. Once the white base coat was on, these were finally ready. I mixed some colors to match the slime. This is the cream color of the drink. I really wanted it to match the color of the slime. And then I'm going to use this darker red color to paint the cup. With the red on the cup, you can really see the tennis ball indents. I am just too over fixing things at this point, so I've just come to terms that it's going to look a little janky. If you can tell it's a tennis ball, it's okay. It'll be okay. I love the cream color of this drink. It looks so delicious. Now I'll focus on these one at a time. The bunny has a little groove around its face, so clearly this bunny is in a costume. So I decided to lean into the peppermint part and make this bunny wearing a peppermint onesie. This is such a lumpy surface for stripes, so it required so much cleanup, but it was totally worth it. The lines actually look so nice. I'm really pleased with how they came out. She is able to enjoy being in this white hot chocolate because she is floating and relaxing. So I gave her a very peaceful face. Something was off with it though, so I had to give it a second try, and I'm really glad I did because she looks so precious with this face instead. The other critter is not very relaxed. This poor guy, I wanted him to be a toasted marshmallow. He was toasted and put in the hot cocoa, so he has really been through it. I wanted to give him a very distraught expression because of this. These just need some peppermint sprinkles in the drink, and they're ready to be served. I like that they're a little set. They're very different critters, but in the same situation. One is handling that situation better than the other. These look handmade, and I kind of think it's charming, and I've learned to not overly rely on puffy paints. But overall, I still really like how these guys came out. I was very surprised that all of the slimes selected are holiday slimes, and they were all from Momo Slimes. I have bought from many slime shops, but clearly Momo is one of my favorites. I definitely plan on doing this again. I'm glad I had an excuse to show you guys my slime, but also it really pushed my creativity. I never would have made these squishies if it wasn't for the theming from these slimes. I love how these turned out, and I'm so happy to be adding these squishies to my collection. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.